Hey everyone, What If Fan here, bringing you another exciting part of What If transmigrated into One Piece and became a Marine. You can find the fanfic title and the original author's name on my Patreon page. Make sure to check it out and show them some love. If you enjoy the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so you never miss an upload. Also check out my Patreon channel for early releases of all the series, where you can find all the series released one day ahead of YouTube. Alright, let's jump into it. Chapter 161, Heaven's Arena. After instructing Gon for an hour, Blaze then proceeded on to practice his Nen type. As he's an enhancer, he can greatly increase his physical attack and defense with none. It's suited for close combat. He didn't attempt to enhance his attacks as he knew it may very possibly destroy part of the Snake Beach forest they are in. So Blaze switched to experiment with other Nen types: transmutation, emission, manipulation, and conjuration. Visualizing and creating something is indeed very exciting. Like a child who found his favorite toy, Blaze began to play with different Nen types. Anything can be achieved with none. The only condition is whether your aura is strong enough to support them or your visualization is powerful enough. Of course, specialization skills are a different matter. Since Blaze is familiar with heat, he attempted to transform his aura into that of heat. The feeling of his aura transforming is wonderful. He just thought and his entire aura transmuted into high heat. Bluish-white flames surrounded his body. But, the next second he cancelled it, feeling his skin burning under extreme heat. Oops, it seems like I can't transform the aura into such high heat where even my physical body can't withstand, Blaze thought. He forgets the fact his body isn't resistant to heat with sea stone scraps inside him. Thinking for a moment, he tried again. This time, he started from low temperature and began to increase the heat bit by bit, to find the highest temperature his physical body can endure. After finding it, he remembered the feeling so that he won't mess it up again. Of course, if he protects his body with haki it won't be a problem, but what's fun in that? Next, emission. With a thought, an orb of heat aura gathered on his palm. He then fired it from his palm at an extreme speed that blasted the heat orb out of Whale Island. Good, Blaze muttered and went on to the next type, conjuration. He was able to conjure most of the things he visualized in his mind without any problem, but he needs lots of practice to conjure some special or complex objects. For instance, Shizuku of Phantom Troop can conjure a vacuum cleaner that can infinitely suck up objects. Blaze was able to conjure a vacuum cleaner, but it didn't possess the same features as Shizuku's Blinky. There's a reason why he tried to imitate Shizuku's ability. If he had succeeded, he can suck the sea stone scraps present in his body with a simple command. It seems like it's not possible, at least for now. Next, manipulation. This type is a little complex as one first needs to have a complete understanding. It can as simple as manipulating a sword or commanding Nen beasts, constructs, or even living beings. He simply conjured a sword and manipulated it by waving his index finger. Blaze wasn't in a hurry to create an Nen ability that's suited for him. First, he wasn't in contact with none for long. Second, he plans to understand Nen well and its types before proceeding to the next step. Resting for some time, he began to practice his haki. Though Nen is fun, haki is Blaze's core. He can't simply ignore it. Thanks to the deathmatch with the 5 elders, his physique and haki attribute improved by a huge margin. It didn't show in his status before because of his severe injuries. As he recovered from his injuries, it was revealed in his status panel. Name, Blaze Hunt. Occupation, Marine. Constitution, 71.2. Devil Fruit, 70.2. Haki, 71.5. Free attribute point, 0.0. Next day. After saying goodbye to Gon, Blaze left Whale Island on a transport ship. Reaching the nearby city, he brought an aircraft ticket to Heaven's Arena with all the money he had. Since it's a technological world similar to Earth, he's having a hard time without any money. He couldn't even eat properly. If it was One Piece world, he would simply kill a few sea beasts and barbecue them and eat to his heart's content. But here, he can only let his stomach rumble as it wishes. So, his first stop is Heaven's Arena to earn some money for himself before traveling to other places. Besides, it's a good place to hone his nen. After a tiring journey, Blaze reached Heaven's Arena the next day. As shown in the anime, it's an enormous tower with 251 floors. Standing in a long line of combatants for some time, Blaze reached the front and filled the form that asked for basic information like his fighting experience. After getting a number 1022, Blaze went inside. He was greeted by an enthusiastic audience and a large arena with 16 small fighting platforms. Blaze didn't wait for long before his number was called. When he walked into the arena specified to him, he met his opponent who was in martial clothing. As soon as the referee finished explaining the rules and said the word begin, his opponent lunged at him ferociously. He put on a weird stance while he attacked with his hands that's shaped like that of tiger claws. Aside from being flashy, Blaze didn't see anything. So he simply flicked his opponent's forehead with his finger when the latter approached him. Before his opponent could figure what's happening, he was sent flying back and crashed into the spectator's stand, losing his consciousness. The referee gave him a ticket and told him he can advance to the 50th floor. Accepting it, Blaze left the arena and moved to the 50th floor after getting some pennies. In 2 days, he reached the 100th floor. After that he kept the advancing slow. It was boring, but he had no choice but to do it for the money. Besides, with a private room for his own, he can meditate and practice his nen without any interference. After devouring a large amount of meat, Blaze sat in the bed to meditate. Closing his eyes, he did nothing. After a minute, he sensed the natural energy in the surroundings, but the amount is very little, maybe because he was in a city filled with people. He slowly began to draw them into his body. Prior to opening his aura nodes, he just inhale and exhale the natural energy as he couldn't find any way to use them. But now, he can. Drawing the natural energy into the body, he led them into the aura nodes and made it circulate as he does with none. He wasn't capable of controlling the natural energy similar to senjutsu, but making them just circulate won't be a problem. He did it in the hope it would help him to enhance his life energy, nen, or bring some kind of benefit as it did with his haki, but something he didn't expect happened. Chapter 162, God's Blood. An unusual transformation ensued in his body when the natural energy circulated through aura nodes. The natural energy blended with the life energy, none, present in the aura nodes to form a new kind of energy that's full of vitality and power. It gave a scare to Blaze as he didn't know what this means, whether it's good or bad. But the transformation couldn't proceed further as if they lacked something. It failed. And the erratically fused energy fluctuated vigorously, showing signs of an explosion. Bad. Blaze's expression turned grim. Feeling the power contained within them, he knew the explosion will very possibly turn him into blood mist. Unknown what to do, Blaze tried to lessen the impact by enveloping the new kind of energy with his haki. But, as soon as his haki came in contact with it, the energy began to devour his haki and at the same time, showed signs of stabilizing. Unfortunately, it's not the end. The energy which showed signs of becoming stable rotated at great speed, devouring the life energy and haki present in his body without his consent. Even the natural energy present in the surrounding was drawn into his body and fused with the other two. The process lasted for half an hour and finally, the three energies fused perfectly to form a new kind of energy that glistened in golden light. Blaze let out a sigh of relief, realizing there's no danger anymore. Wiping sweat drops from his forehead, he relaxed a bit to calm his wildly pounding heart. He nearly lost his life with his own hand. After 5 minutes of rest, Blaze probed the energy carefully. To his surprise, he can feel the connection between him and the energy. With a thought, he was able to sense and see the energy that had the size of a small pearl. It was golden and have a consistency like that of blood. When Blaze tried to grasp it with his thought, it ran away like a naughty child. It then fused in his bloodstream and circulated the body along with his blood. Just as Blaze wondered what's the use of this energy, the system notification sounded in his mind. Notification: the host has created a new kind of energy by fusing 3 different kinds of energies. It's an achievement worthy of admiration even in the outer world. After analyzing, the new energy has characteristics similar to God's blood. So the system thinks the apt name for this newfound power is God's blood. God's blood, burning God's blood will enhance the host's attribute and physique to the next level for an hour. Depending on the usage, the time may vary. Once host replaces all the normal blood in the human body with God's blood, you will transcend the limit and your physique will reach the half-God level. Achievement, God's blood. Reward, +5. 0 free attribute point. Note, host can't add the free attribute point here, as entry into the HXH world is unofficial. You can add the points as you wish once you return to the One Piece world. Whoa, God's blood, what a cool name. Blaze's eyes brightened. When did I become so awesome? Blaze wasn't in the condition to try his new power, as his life energy and haki was drained to 0 to create God's blood, so he's completely exhausted. Collapsing onto the bed, he slept. The next day, after completing his fight on Heaven's Arena, Blaze returned to the room to form the next drop of God's blood. Unlike yesterday, he knew the steps, so the process was easy. Even so, it still drained his life energy and haki to 0. Curious to explore the new power, Blaze didn't mind the exhaustion and directly burned a drop to test it. As soon as he did, the drop of golden blood scattered into a countless wisp of energy, directly enhancing every aspect of his being. He felt power, boundless power coursing through every inch of his body. He felt reborn. After experimenting for 10 minutes, Blaze understood some of its abilities. It can be used to enhance his physique or directly utilized as a form of energy that he desires, whether it's nin or haki. Doing so would improve his nin or haki by 3-folds. To someone of his caliber, it's a huge improvement. It would practically make him invincible within the short time period. Another thing he noted is, the God's blood has the ability to heal any type of injury. Even a severed arm or leg can be regrown. Just now, all his hidden injuries and the life source he depleted during his fight with the 5 elders were also recovered. Meaning, Blaze is back to his peak. Feeling the power, Blaze clenched his fist while his lips curled a little as if he was smirking. World government, 5 elders, wait for me. I will come back soon. Days passed by. Every day, Blaze would train his haki and nin concepts. He would form a drop of God's blood at the end of the day so that his exhaustion doesn't interfere with his training or fight. After lingering between 150 to 190th floor for 15 days, Blaze earned nearly around 400 million Jenny, enough for him to spend for years. Deciding it's enough, Blaze won his fights and proceeded to the 200th floor. A female clerk welcomed him at the registration desk and handed him a form to sign. She then explained to him the rules of the 200th floor, along with match timings. After hearing the explanation, Blaze filled the form and ticked the checkbox that he's ready to fight any day. The female clerk then handed the room key and told him his next match will be informed once it's fixed. Blaze was informed the next day of his match. His match date has been confirmed 2 days from now at 9 a.m. on the 225th floor. He was looking forward to it, as it will be his first nin fight. He'd hope his opponent is at least a little bit stronger with powerful nin ability, not some rookie crushers. 2 days passed. As Blaze entered the arena, he heard the shouts and cheering from the crowd of spectators. Unlike on the lower floor, the number of audiences on the 200th floor is plentiful. The announcer introduced him as debut fighter of the 200th floor and then his opponent, who currently has 9 wins and 2 losses. Blaze was surprised when he heard it, 9 wins. It seems I won't be bored. After the announcement, his opponent entered the stage. His opponent is named Rozak, with a relaxed demeanor. As soon as he entered the stage, the noise from the audience stands increased. It seems he has huge support. Rozak is a tall, muscular man with well-developed muscles that can be seen from his open-styled silver leather jacket. He had short blue hair with electric blue eyes. Looking at Blaze, Rozak muttered, but it was audible. A rookie, huh? Rookie? Blaze smirked hearing his words. Chapter 163, First Nin Battle. Even though the referee said, begin, Rozak didn't take the initiative to attack. In his eyes, Blaze's common stance is full of opening without any guard. But his sharpened senses warned him his opponent is dangerous. If he makes a single mistake, he will die. Not letting the pressure affect his mind, Rozak commented at Blaze. It seems you are not an ordinary person. Come, you are wasting my time. Blaze gestured with his hand. The next moment, Rozak erupted with amazing ren before using 10 to shroud it around his body. Making his preparation, he dashed towards him. The crowd thundered into cheers seeing him action. From the aura, Blaze could tell he's a master who's been practicing Nen for some time. Facing the attack, he didn't use his Nen. First, he needs to understand how his pure physical ability compares to Nen users. After that, he will plan his next course of action. Rozak launched a flurry of punches shrouding his arm with Nen. As for Blaze, he blocked his strikes with bare hands. Even with his physical attribute crossing the 70 bar limit, he felt slight discomfort. He's not Kaido with absolute defense. The Senju Constitution granted him a powerful life force and physical energy along with tremendous stamina and resilience. The only thing it wasn't great at is defense. Still, it's enough to overwhelm the majority of people even in the One Piece world. On the other hand, Rozak looked stunned seeing his Nen-enhanced punches couldn't injure his opponent. Impossible. I am an enhancer. He didn't even use 10, how did he block my punches with bare hands? When he saw Blaze look absent-minded, Rozak felt humiliated. Since normal Nen attacks don't work, I will show him my Hatsu. Just as Blaze was contemplating, Rozak transformed his aura into the shape of long whips and lashed at him from all directions. Moreover, his whips were enhanced with Nen so they packed incredible power. Even a fellow enhancer would be injured if he faced the attack head-on. Coming out of his thoughts, Blaze avoided the attacks as if they were nothing. Seeing none of his attacks could hit his opponent, Rozak roared. Don't think it's all I got. I have another Nen ability, Power Multiplier. Every time I land a hit, my powers grow. Oh, you should have used that from the start. I won't dodge anymore, come. Blaze said, finally showing some emotion on his face. What? This time, Blaze shrouded his body with 10. The point to be noted is, he wasn't using Ken but normal 10. Because it's more than enough. The next moment, Rozak charged at him vigorously and sent a torrent of punches. Blaze blocked everything with his 10 shrouded hands but none of them managed to crack his 10. It was while his opponent's strength multiplied with every attack. Finally, after 30 consecutive strikes, Rozak's fist was enveloped by spherical-shaped deep red energy. The aura in the fist is a little overwhelming. Laughing crazily, Rozak shouted. You shouldn't have let me hit you consecutively. Let's see how you block this one. Sensing the power behind the attack, Blaze guessed it should be as strong as Yuvajan's Big Bang Impact. Though the latter can use it normally, Rozak had to fulfill a lot of conditions to reach this level. It's the difference between him and the powerful Nen Master. Blaze mused. Should I use Ken? No, my full power 10 should be enough to block the strike. Let's test it. Arriving before him, Rozak punched while Blaze blocked with his arms crossed. The overwhelming punch carried a devastating power enough to obliterate anything in its path. The power behind the punch sent Blaze flying out of the arena bounds while his 10 was destroyed by the strike. However, it wasn't strong enough to hurt him. Seeing the strike, the audience screamed in excitement. Whoa, what was that? The blow seemed pretty powerful but Blaze seems to be unharmed. The announcer screamed. Dusting his dress, Blaze jumped onto the stage without any signs of injuries. Seeing it, Rozak couldn't believe his eyes. How can it be? That was a critical hit enough to rival missiles. Is he a monster? It's my turn, Blaze said, concentrating his Nen onto his fist. A golden spherical bubble formed around his fist, even affecting the surrounding. Though he just directed 10% of his aura. Feeling the endless power contained in the fist, Rozak gulped and took a few steps back. He knew if he got hit by that fist, he will die a gruesome death. It should be slightly stronger than your last punch. Are you ready to take it? Don't forget to shield your face with Ken, otherwise, you would die. Blaze asked and kindly reminded. Sweat formed on Rozak's face. I'm quick on my feet, I can dodge it. It may be powerful, but it's nothing if it can't hit me. The next moment, his entire view collapsed as his opponent appeared before him as if he teleported. Facing the incoming fist, he sensed death. Knowing he can't dodge the attack, he heeded Blaze's warning and shielded his face with 100% Ken. Still, he felt weak under overwhelming power. Boom! As Blaze's punch connected, there was a loud boom followed by a shockwave. As for Rozak, he was sent flying and crashed into the audience stand. He lost his consciousness as most of his facial bones were shattered while his entire face was deformed beyond recognition. His entire being is covered in blood. If Blaze hadn't held back his strength at the last moment, Rozak would have lost his life. The cheering audience quieted down. Silence ensued as none of them expected this outcome. Once the referee announced his victory, Blaze left the battle stage and returned to his room. Though using Nen seemed fun, the battle didn't excite him much. But, he had to admit Rozak's Hatsu is pretty powerful. Once he masters his enhancement category to perfection, he will definitely become a notable figure. Power Multiplier. It was a good Nen ability, but if he wasn't wrong, to perform that last strike he needs to fulfill a lot of conditions. Though Blaze is strong, his strength is nowhere near enough to defeat the Chimera and King. His current aura reserve should be slightly stronger than Netero, but he wasn't exactly sure. Only after he meets Netero in person, he can say for sure. Even so, if he battles Netero with Nen alone, he will definitely lose as he wasn't as skilled in Nen as the latter. If he uses his God's Blood, his powers should reach close to Royal Guards but not enough to defeat them, much less the Ant King. He needs Nen training and practice. Of course, if he uses his Haki and Devil Fruit ability he will be able to do it, but what's fun in that? As a battle lover, he needs some challenges. Besides, he will be bored to death if he doesn't have a goal for himself. Chapter 164, Hisoka Moro. 4 months passed by. It's been nearly 6 months since he came to the world of hunters. In the 4 months, he competed in 9 matches and won every one of them. Aside from Rozak, he didn't meet any strong opponent with good Nen mastery. Most of them are rookies or weak. It doesn't matter, the reason he stays here is because of the quietness. When he feels bored, he would go and watch the battle between other Nen masters. Of course, he didn't plan on staying here for the long term. Once he wins his next match, he will earn the right to challenge the floor master. He will leave after that. Just as he came to the 225th floor to watch today's battle, he was surprised by the names revealed on the board for the next match: Hisoka vs. Castro. So he finally came to Heaven's Arena. When Blaze was on Earth, he enjoyed Hisoka's character, sinister, manipulative, and self-centered. He's the type of person you will feel the urge to beat. Since Hisoka's someone who loves to fight stronger opponents, Blaze was going to give him the opportunity. The battle started once both the combatants entered the battle stage. Hisoka looked the same as he remembered, with his attire adorned with various card symbols. His appearance is similar to that of a magician with face paint along with star and teardrop symbols on his cheeks. The battle went as expected. Castro lost. After playing with him for a while, Hisoka struck the latter with none. As he's an experienced Nen user, Castro didn't suffer any disabilities during the initiation. Just as Hisoka walked out of the battle stage, he met Blaze, who had been waiting for him in the passageway. Hisoka played with the Joker card in his hand and looked at Blaze, releasing his extreme bloodlust. "Who are you? Are you up for a fight?" Blaze asked, revealing a portion of his powerful aura. "If you do, feel free to choose me as your next opponent. I am ready anytime." "Okay." Once Blaze disappeared from his view, Hisoka narrowed his eyes. He could tell Blaze is strong and the thought of fighting such an opponent excited him to the core. "I'm sure he will entertain me." After his talk with Hisoka, Blaze went back to his room to resume training. In the last 4 months, he practiced his Nen every day and grew habitual to it like hockey. If he wanted, he could create a Hatsu of his own without much difficulty. In fact, he tried to imitate many people's Nen ability and got succeeded with most of them. A good example is Leorio's remote punch. Like Jing, he was able to imitate it without much effort. Aside from that, he now has 130 drops of God's blood. After experimenting and analyzing for a few days, he discovered, to attain the half-god physique, he requires 3,000 drops of God's blood. Of course, he wasn't 100% certain of it, but it should be around that range. To reach that, he needs at least another 8 years to complete it. It's a long time and Blaze wasn't in any rush either. Since he's going to fight Hisoka next, he plans on creating a unique nin ability to play with the latter. 4 days later, Blaze and Hisoka stood face to face in the battle stage of Heaven's Arena on the 225th floor. Hisoka could hardly contain his excitement as it's been some time he fought any worthy opponents. Blaze had a slight smile on his face as well, looking at the excited Hisoka. Confidence oozed from the latter as if he's the most powerful. Blaze, is it? I'm so happy, you make me feel so good. I am going to enjoy breaking you. Hisoka licked the Joker card in his hand and spoke. Hearing his words, Blaze laughed. I like your confidence, but are you really that strong? When the judge uttered the word begin, Hisoka took the initiative and dashed forward like a maniac, emanating boundless killing intent. Just from the aura alone, Blaze could tell Hisoka's on a different level than other nin users he met. It's what you call talent. Especially his nin, it's dense and strong. Swoosh. Facing Hisoka's tricky fighting style and sinister moves, Blaze evaded them all the same with little to no effort, as if he knew the latter's moves beforehand. It's not because Blaze can see the future, it's just that Hisoka's moves are slow. Not just him, most of the fighters he encountered all had flashy moves but were slow. As for Blaze, he firmly believes in the concept of absolute strength, as all kinds of tricks and abilities are ineffective before it. The crowd cheered and yelled as both Hisoka and Blaze began to fight. The fast-paced battle excited and drew everyone into the battle. The next moment, Hisoka kicked at his face with full strength. He's using concentrating his entire aura into the right feet. If Blaze attacks now, he can heavily injure Hisoka as the latter left his body defenseless. But suddenly, Blaze laughed inwardly and muttered, "Interesting," as he perceived the future. Hisoka kicked at him, but his feet froze for a second, centimeters away from his face, before zooming forward with explosive force. Bang! Though the force behind the kick isn't enough to break his ten, Blaze used Ken to block the strike. He remained unharmed. Powerful. The power behind the kick is exceptional, as it's enough to injure even master enhancers if they didn't use their full aura to block the strike. The reason behind the power is simple, as Hisoka used his Hatsu, bungee gum. He connected his feet to the ground with bungee gum before the kick and let it loose once it's stretched to the maximum. It drastically increased the force behind the kick. It's simple but very efficient. That's what makes Hisoka's bungee gum terrifying. If any opponent gauges his strike with just the amount of Ko or Ryu, they will suffer horribly. It's not the end of Hisoka's attack, because as soon as he noticed Blaze is unharmed, he threw the cards that appeared between his fingers at blinding speed and with absolute precision. What's extraordinary about it is, he did it from an angle that perfectly obstructed Blaze's eyesight. If not for the observation haki, even he would have been fooled. Blaze didn't try to dodge the attack but swiftly caught the cards between his fingers by coating them with Ken. Feeling the cards, he showed a surprised expression. Amazing! Hisoka's cards felt heavy as if they are steel. The latter had shrouded his cards with Shu, but the amount of aura and how he applied them is extremely amazing. His cards were heavier at the edges while lighter at the center because he applied Ryu along with Shu, splitting his aura in the cards to yield maximum output. Chapter 165, Absolute Barrier. Hisoka's eyes narrowed witnessing Blaze catching his cards with ease. He knew very well how much aura and power he inserted in the cards. Though he's a transmuter, he mastered his enhancement to a certain degree. To catch the cards without suffering any damage, his opponent is definitely an enhancer and should have attained high-level mastery. Still, Hisoka smiled the next moment because his plan has succeeded. In the last attack, he didn't just throw the cards but also his bungee gum. It had perfectly glued to Blaze's cheek. Since his bungee gum can be concealed within, it's very difficult to spot in the middle of battle without using Gyo. Of course, Blaze sensed the bungee gum with his powerful observation haki even before it was attached to the right side of his cheek. So Hisoka's smile didn't last for long. When Blaze casually threw the cards away and touched the bungee gum to feel its texture, Hisoka's expression changed. Does he know about my ability beforehand? Hisoka wondered. Though it wasn't enough to sway his spirit, he was disappointed a little. Is this your nin ability? It's a good plaything. Blaze praised. Feeling the bungee gum with his own hands, he could tell its properties and nature of transformation. Plaything? Hisoka felt unresigned. It's his creation, after all, there's no way he can take this lying. However, it's really nothing in Blaze's eyes as he casually cut the bungee gum by forming a small sword made of heat with his aura. I created an inability of my own. Let's see how it is when compared to yours. Blaze's rin spiked for a moment and extended about 3 meters before morphing into a thin spherical membrane. Feeling and seeing Blaze's aura in close range, Hisoka's heart quivered in excitement as the latter's nin is incredibly powerful and beyond his imagination. Blaze concentrated and the aura around the edges of the spherical membrane solidified into some kind of transparent crystal. It gave birth to a barrier-like thing. It's a very simple use of an along with the transmutation of his aura into a hard element. I call this absolute barrier. Though I created it on a whim, it's rather hard. As you can see, I transformed the aura around the barrier to make it more durable. It won't break easily. Blaze boasted with his head held high and explained, but Hisoka's in no mood to listen. Enough for chit-chat. Let's fight. Hisoka channeled his nin around his body, ready to strike. What are you saying? The fight has already ended, you lost your chances to hurt me. Blaze spread his hand and shook his head. What? Hisoka raised his eyebrows. Let me demonstrate my ability so that you can understand clearly. Blaze snapped his finger and the barrier around his body vanished. The next moment, Hisoka's face changed as he found himself in a spherical barrier. He wasn't even able to react to the attack or fathom how it happened. Blaze smiled. Capture complete. I forgot to mention the nature of my ability. The absolute barrier is a pure defensive technique, but it can also be bestowed on others in a way to protect them. Of course, it includes foes. Hearing it, Hisoka grimaced. Blaze doesn't need to explain anymore as he understood the concept completely. Troublesome ability. Still, it doesn't prevent him from trying to break the barrier. After a few seconds, Hisoka panted as none of his tricks worked. Even his bungee gum couldn't help him. The barrier didn't even budge. He knew he won't be able to break it even if he tried for another 10 days, so he finally accepted the fact of being trapped inside. So what now? Are you going to kill me? Hisoka asked. You have the potential to be a good fighter, so I am going to let you live. I just hope the next time we meet you are at least strong enough to entertain me. Blaze spoke and undid the barrier. Hisoka felt as if he was slapped in the face. It's always him who lets his opponent live so that he can break them in the future when they become formidable, but someone did the same to him. Of course, if you try to attack me now, I will kill you, right here and right now. Blaze narrowed his eyes, revealing his killing intent that's capable of overwhelming even Hisoka. Facing Blaze, Hisoka felt as if he was being stared at by an unknown beast. His acute danger senses warned he will die if he does anything foolish. With drops of sweat on his forehead, Hisoka uttered, I am not a fool. I know when to advance and retreat. The next time we meet, it will be different. Saying this, Hisoka admitted defeat and left the battle stage. He soon disappeared from everyone's view. He has a strong spirit. The battle wasn't as exciting as he envisioned. Though Hisoka's strong, he's not at the level of overwhelming top nin masters of the world. After winning the battle against Hisoka, Blaze got the qualification to challenge the floor master, but he didn't do it as he wasn't the least bit interested. The reason he came to Heaven's Arena is for money and to engage in battle with proficient nin users like Hisoka. He accomplished what he came here for. It's time he moves. The next day. Leaving Heaven's Arena, Blaze went to see a doctor and find a solution to remove the sea stone scraps in his body. It had bothered him for some time now. After scanning his body with advanced medical devices of Hunter World, the doctors found 12 sea stone scraps inside his body. The problem is, they settled in different parts of his body. Just as they decided to remove the scraps using a magnetic tool that can draw any kind of metal, it failed as the sea stone is an entirely different element. Blaze expected this outcome. He just wanted to see whether they has any method. Of course, it's not the only method, as the scraps can also be removed by surgery or handled by special nin doctors. But, considering his physique, there's no way these normal doctors can cut his skin. The other method is also not feasible, as he needs to be a hunter to invite special nin doctors. Since he wasn't in a hurry, Blaze decided to return to Whale Island. Chapter 166, Start of the Hunter Exam. A white cloud, the size of a small car, sped over the sea, towards Whale Island. Blaze lazed on top of the cloud in a carefree manner with his eyes closed. The white cloud is something he created with his aura using transmutation and conjuration. To make the cloud more powerful and versatile, he added 5 drops of God's blood. As a result, it became a sentient life form. Blaze named it Little White. It's not capable of speech but intelligent, able to think and follow his words. Blaze reached Whale Island in a few hours. He directly landed in the forest a little away from the town, where he stayed when he first came. As soon as he arrived, 2 figures came running from the distance. It's Gon and the little fox bear. Blaze, you came back. Gon rushed and held him. I missed you. Not just Gon, the little fox bear also didn't forget his scent as it came forward and nudged its head on his leg, showing affection. Blaze smiled and touched Gon's head. Well, I told you I will be back in a few months. He then looked at the fox bear that had grown in size. He took out the food he prepared for the little guy and threw it. Blaze, what is that? I saw something flying past just now. Did you come riding this? Gon asked as checked the white cloud that floats in midair. Little White, come here, Blaze called. He picked Gon and placed him on the cloud. Show him some of your skills. As soon as he commanded, Little White soared, carrying Gon, who was screaming atop his lungs. Ah! Blaze, help me! Blaze chuckled as he watched Gon disappear from his view. Gazing at the little fox bear, he said, You are next. When it heard his words, its first stood up and it ran away in fear. The little white came back after 10 minutes with Gon, who lying on the cloud while his hands were tightly clutching the surfaces of the cloud for support. Yet, his eyes gleamed in excitement and enjoyment. Did you like it? Blaze asked. It's wonderful. You can play with it any time, as I will be here for the next few months. Really? Yes. Blaze replied and asked, Gon, how was your training on Saru and Camille? Why don't you show it to me? After playing with Gon for a while, Blaze began to gather the woods to build a small wooden house, since he's going to stay here for some time. He plans on spending his time in meditation and training. Whether it's hockey or nin, he has a lot to learn and comprehend. He needs to utilize his time wisely. Days passed. Blaze trained in peace, as there's no one to disturb him, except Gon, who's also a sensible kid. He won't bother him for no reason and rarely interrupts his training. Most of the time, he would just play with Little White and Gon. In no time, 2.5 years have passed. Though there's no change in Blaze's appearance, he's 23 years old right now, and it's been 3 years since he came to this world. In these 2.5 years, Blaze's strength rose steadily without any drastic change. Even he himself doesn't know how strong he's right now. His nun grew smooth and dense after much meditation, practice, and understanding. His aura is not the same as it was years ago, it's vastly different. Even if he faces the king's royal guard, he has the confidence to kill them with just nin alone. As for the king himself, he can only tell after facing him in person. If possible, he wants to have a fight with Chairman Netero, which may tell his current level of strength. If we are just talking about hockey and constitution, he should be as powerful as Whitebeard in his prime. In these 3 years, his hockey rose from 71.5 to 75.4, while his constitution attribute grew to 74.8 from 71.2. Aside from this, he didn't forget to develop his god's blood. Right now, 1/3 of the blood in his body has turned golden. Meaning, he has nearly 1,000 drops in his body. If he hadn't used some for experimentation, he would have had more, but it doesn't matter much to him. Even so, the feeling of power, it's simply wonderful, but one shouldn't be intoxicated by it. Blaze knew it very well. Overconfidence leads to destruction. It's time to leave the Whale Island. Around 9 in the morning, Gon hurried towards him in excitement. Blaze, Aunt Mito agreed. She agreed to sign the hunter application card under one condition. What is it? She wants me to catch the master of the swap. I am going to do it. Gon clenched his fist. It's really an impossible condition set by Mito, as she doesn't want Gon to take the hunter exam, but it's only for ordinary people. To Gon, this task poses no difficulty. Unlike in the original timeline, Blaze trained Gon very well. Though he didn't teach him Nin, he made him do all types of exercises to improve the latter's physique. Then what are you waiting for? I believe you will be able to catch it quite easily. Yes, Gon then went to catch the fish. With his current strength, it's indeed a very easy task. Everything went as shown in the original timeline. This time he caught it pretty easily. Though reluctant, Mito signed Gon's hunter application card. As for Blaze, he applied for the hunter exam even before Gon. The next morning, Mito and her grandmother came to the harbor to see him off. Blaze also came to the port to board the ship, but Mito came to speak with him. Mito looked at him and spoke, "Mr. Blaze, please look after Gon. He's still young and inexperienced." "Don't worry, nothing will happen to him with me around," Blaze assured her and boarded the ship along with Gon. Chapter 167, Exam Site. Upon boarding the ship, Gon bids goodbye to the inhabitants of Whale Island and shouted, "Once I become the best hunter in the world, I will come back." His shout attracted the attention of other passengers on board who also came to take the hunter exam. Without minding the mocks of others, Gon observed the ship. As for Blaze, he quietly stood in the dock enjoying the sea breeze and watched Gon's actions. He also noticed Kurapika and Leo Rio among the ship passengers. As he knows what will happen next, he just enjoyed the process. Everything went as occurred in the anime. Gon told the captain of the ship that a storm is coming. Just as he said, the storm raged in their way, while nearly every exam applicant on the ship suffered seasick except for Gon, Blaze, Kurapika, and Leo Rio. After a few minutes, the captain summoned them and asked the reasons for taking the hunter exam. Gon quickly answered that he wants to know why his father chose to be a hunter. After Gon, Blaze answered, "Just for fun, as I am bored." As for Leo Rio and Kurapika, they both refused to reveal their reason. But, as soon as the captain announced it's part of the exam, they told their own reasons. Kurapika tells about the Phantom Troop who annihilated his Korta clan, and he's taking the hunter exam as it would help him to revenge. Followed by Kurapika, Leo Rio declared he's taking the exam for money. The comments shared by Kurapika and Leo Rio spark the animosity between the two, and they go out to the deck to duel as shown in the series. Blaze watched everything with interest while the next storm came in their way, one that even the captain of the ship took seriously. Gon accompanied the crew member Katsuo to help with the sail while Blaze followed them outside. Leo Rio and Kurapika stood face to face without bothering about the storm. But suddenly, Katsuo, who came out of the cabin, was tossed out of the ship because of a wave. Leo Rio and Kurapika couldn't even react before Gon jumped out. The other two promptly reacted to catch Gon's legs. The incident also helped Leo Rio and Kurapika sort out the dispute among them. As for the captain, he's impressed with them and promised them to bring the ship to the nearest port to the exam site. "Huh, that's strange," Leo Rio muttered and explained that the cedar tree is in the opposite direction of Zaban City, where this year hunter exam is going to be held. "Gon, perhaps you misheard?" Kurapika spoke. "No, The captain said to go to the cedar tree. Gon shook his head. He then asked Blaze. Blaze, what do you think we should do? Trust your instincts. Okay. Then I am going to check out the tree the captain spoke of. Gon said while Kurapika followed suit. Leo Rio bids goodbye to them and walked in opposite direction, but he soon came back knowing it was a trap. Are you also from Whale Island? Leo Rio tried to strike a conversation with Blaze. I come from a distant land. I just stay in Whale Island temporarily. Blaze replied. The conversation is short because both Kurapika and Leo Rio find Blaze is different from them. With their keen perception, they could tell he's a very strong person. They soon reached a small deserted town. A group of masked people appears with an old woman blocking their way. The old woman told them they have to undergo the quiz in order to reach the cedar tree. Clearing the quiz, a door to a tunnel opens. They are instructed to meet the navigators living in a house by the cedar tree. Upon reaching the cedar tree, they find the navigators, a couple being attacked by a shape-shifting creature, the Kuriko. After passing their test, thanks to Gon, they agreed to fly them to the exam site. Gon, Blaze, Leo Rio, and Kurapika arrive at Zaban City under the guidance of the navigator. He then led them to a small restaurant and helped them to the back room after providing a password to the restaurant owner. The elevator descended 100 floors below, leading them to a tunnel where all the applicants waited. Their arrival attracted everyone's gaze. The atmosphere is strange down here, Leo Rio spoke. They vastly differ from all the hunter applicants that we saw before. Have seen. Kurapika commented. Hello, please take a number. Beans came and gave them the identification numbers. Blaze got the number 406, the last one. Shortly after, they are befriended by Tampa, the rookie crusher. He told them about the other applicants. Particularly, Hisoka, who nearly killed an examiner on last year's examination. Then it happened when an applicant bumped into Hisoka without apologizing. The latter did something that made the applicant's arms disappear. Blaze smiled seeing him. He could tell Hisoka used his nin and tricks to achieve this effect. Sensing his gaze, Hisoka turned his head just to see Blaze. He was shocked and froze for a second before coming back to his senses. As the Gon's trio spoke with Tanpa, Blaze went to meet Hisoka. It's been some time, I hope your strength has improved since the last time we met. At that moment, the bell sounded while the examiner for the first round appeared. Saditz introduced himself and tells the participants to follow him through the tunnel as part of the first exam phase. The hunter exam has finally begun. Chapter 168, Swindler's Swamp. I apologize for the wait. The entry period for the hunter application has ended. Saditz announced. The hunter exam will now begin. He then warned everyone about the danger of losing their lives in the process, but none of the applicants backed away. Seeing this, Saditz spoke. Very well. All 405 applicants will participate in Phase 1. Follow me. Saying this, he started running and explained. I'm Saditz, the Phase 1 examiner. I will lead you to the exam's second phase. What about Phase 1? Hanzo asked. It has already commenced, Saditz replied. This is part of the test? His answer confused and panicked some of the hunter applicants. You must follow me to Phase 2. This is the exam's first phase. Saditz explained. Blaze ran alongside Gon, Kurapika, and Leo Rio while glancing at the other participants. He also noticed the disfigured and pinned. 2 hours passed since the start of the exam. The applicants have traveled over 30 kilometers from the start point. None of them know how far they should go. They are forced to run at the leader's pace with no goal specified. With no end in sight, many have already dropped out. I underestimated the hunter exam. Everyone here is a monster. Leo Rio showed signs of exhaustion, but he got irritated seeing Killua using the skating board. You should show some respect to the hunter exam. Why are you using a skateboard? It's cheating. he yelled. Why? Killua asked ignorantly. This is an endurance test, Rio replied. No, it isn't. Gon expressed his view. Ha! Gon, what are you saying? Rio complained in exasperation. The examiner only told us to follow him. Gon stated the fact. Hey, how old are you? Killua asked, approaching Gon. 12 years old. Gon replied. Killua mused, we are of the same age. Guess I will run too. Killua picked the skateboard with a stylish maneuver and started running alongside Gon. He then introduced himself as Killua. I am Gon. Gon stated his name. Watching their interaction, Blaze smiled. It's a form of enjoyment to meet and see your favorite characters in person and how they interact. You two are really compatible and make a good team, Blaze commented. Who are you? Killua asked, but his body was on full alert. He could feel the aura emitting from Blaze with his sharp perception. It's even stronger than his brother Illumi. Nice to meet you. I am Blaze. Killua snorted and ignored him. Blaze didn't mind as he knew Killua's personality very well. After another few kilometers of running, many hunter applicants began to collapse. In their group, Rio was completely exhausted and covered in sweat. He was on the verge of quitting. Thanks to Gon, he gained the motivation and starts running even ahead of them in full force. When they reached a wide staircase mark, Hunter Examiner Saditz started increasing his pace. At the same time, Gon and Killua agree to have a race to the exit and the one to win will pay for dinner. Blaze also increased his pace. When he crossed Hisoka, who was running with Illumi, Blaze sent him a glance before advancing forward. In a few steps, he joined Kurapika and Rio. Who is he? Illumi asked. I met him 2 years ago at the Heavens Arena. Hisoka recounted his battle with Blaze. You lost? Illumi asked in a surprised tone. I want to fight him again, but I am not confident of defeating him. Hisoka spoke his mind. We may have a chance if we join hands together, what do you say? You know, I don't do work for nothing, Illumi replied. But, your words have piqued my interest. Scarlet Eyes Kurapika spoke. That's why the Korta clan was targeted, for our unique scarlet eyes. When our emotions are heightened, our eyes turn scarlet. The eyes in the scarlet state are considered one of the 7 most beautiful colors in the world. They command high prices in the black market. That's why the Phantom Torque attacked you? Rio asked. They took every eye from my clan's remains. I can still hear their darkened eyes crying out in anguish. I swear I will capture the Phantom Troop and I will reclaim the eyes of my clan. Kurapika revealed his deepest secret. Next, Rio told his side of the story of how his friend would not have died if he had money. Listening to their conversation, Blaze reached the end of the tunnel. Gon and Killua already waited there along with the examiner Saditz and a few other participants. Once the other applicants arrived, Saditz introduced them to the location as the Milsey Wetlands, also known as the Swindler's Swamp. We must cross the wetlands to reach the second phase of the Hunter exam. This place is home to numerous beasts, mysterious creatures, and deadly plants who deceive humans and prey upon them. Be careful. If you let them fool you, you are dead. Stay very close to me so you won't be deceived. Just as Saditz finished explaining, a shout came from afar. Don't let them fool you. A man showed up dragging an unconscious ape that had an appearance similar to Saditz. He's an imposter. I am the real examiner. He then accused Saditz of being a man-faced ape. The applicants become confused. What's going on? I think what he says is true. But, before the applicants could come to a conclusion, Hisoka attacked the two with his cards. The man with the ape got killed while Saditz easily caught the cards with his bare hands. That settles it. You are the real one. Hisoka spoke. Of course, Saditz spoke and warned Hisoka that he will be disqualified if he tried to attack him again. Sure. Hisoka accepted. Let us be on our way. please follow me. Sadits then led everyone into the swindler's swamp that's covered in fog. Blaze looked around in interest as he ran. Though he has seen many things in One Piece world, the HXH world has its own uniqueness. He's thoroughly enjoying this journey. After a few minutes of running, Killua suggested, feeling the tense atmosphere behind him. Gon, let's move up. Okay, Gon then shouted at Leorio and Kurapika before following Killua. As for Blaze, he was ahead of everyone. He did it so that his debut doesn't affect the original storyline, as he wants to observe the fight between Gon and Hisoka. Just as he thought, everything went as shown in the series. Leorio and Kurapika separated from the group. After a few minutes, Gon went to search for them. Knowing it's time, Blaze followed Gon without alerting him. After running for a minute, he reached the location where Leorio faced Hisoka on his own. Seeing Leorio is in danger, Gon attacked Hisoka with the fishing rod. Even when facing Hisoka, he didn't show any nervousness or fear. Unlike in the original series, Blaze has taught Sorrow and Kamui to Gon and has improved his physical abilities by guiding him daily. He also gave him combat training. If no Nen is involved, Gon won't lose easily. Let's see how far Gon's strength has reached. Blaze watched the confrontation from the distance. Chapter 169, Chairman Netero. Is that a fishing rod? What a fascinating weapon. Allow me to take a closer look. Hisoka spoke as he walked towards Gon. Gon didn't show any kind of fear or nervousness when facing Hisoka. But before he could make his move, Leorio attacked Hisoka from behind. The result is obvious, he was punched hard in the face and lost consciousness. Gon seized the moment and attacked from behind, which Hisoka evaded easily. You came to rescue your friend? Hisoka asked, appearing behind Gon. But Hisoka underestimated Gon and his reaction speed. Gon used Sorrow and vanished from the spot. Even Hisoka failed to react to the speed. The next moment, Gon once again used Sorrow and rushed forward, with his figures disappearing from time to time. Though Sorrow is a powerful movement technique, Hisoka is not weak either. After the initial surprise, he was easily able to follow Gon's speed. Interesting. Hisoka's eyes shone in excitement. He evaded Gon's attack and asked, "You are better than I thought. Did Blaze teach you those techniques?" Gon's attacks were powerful and precise, but Hisoka was even faster than Gon. The result didn't surprise Blaze much, as he knew the characters in Hunter World aren't normal either. In truth, Hisoka is really surprised by Gon's strength, but the result remained the same. He caught Gon by the neck and grasped him tightly. Gon couldn't react in time to use his Kamui technique, he felt powerless and weak. Seeing Gon struggle to breathe, Hisoka let go and said, "Do not worry. I will not kill your friend. He passed the test." You passed as well. Grow up and become a fine hunter. After receiving the call from Illumi, Hisoka grabbed Leorio and asked, "You can find your way back, right?" As Hisoka walked away, Kurapika came. "Gon. Are you all right?" Seeing everything is okay, Blaze silently took his leave and moved towards the second phase exam site. He didn't interfere because Gon should understand his weakness and need some motivation. "Welcome. I am Menchi, the second phase examiner. I am Buhara, the other examiner." Menchi and Buhara introduced themselves. Menchi states the second phase involves cooking, which made the applicants laugh and ridicule. Then, Buhara tasks them to cook pork. Upon signal, the applicants dashed to the forest. Gon, Killua, Blaze, Leorio, and Kurapika went to search the forest for the pigs. It didn't take long for them to find the pigs, but aside from Blaze, none of them expected them to be carnivorous. The pigs took notice of their presence and stormed towards them. When everyone planned to run, Blaze stood in his place and simply stretched his hand. "Blaze, what are you doing? Let's go," Gon urged. But Blaze didn't move. He used his Conqueror's Haki to collapse 5 pigs and scared the other ones away. "Oh, what kind of trick is this?" Leorio exclaimed, while Gon, Killua, and Kurapika had surprised expressions on their faces. Why are you all standing in a daze? Take the ingredients. Let's go and cook. Blaze spoke and grabbed a pig while others did the same. It didn't take long for the other applicants to find the weakness of the great stamp pigs and kill it. Soon, everyone came with a pig in hand. Like in the series, most used the crudest method known, roasting the entire pig. As for Blaze, he cut the pig into slices and coated them with spices before barbecuing. Still, he knew Mechi will fail everyone even if the dish is good. So, after grilling them he ate and shared it with Gon, Killua, Leorio, and Kurapika. It's good, Leorio commented while others also enjoyed the dish. Blaze consumed most of it and left just 2 pieces for the examiner. Like in the series, Menchi fails everyone for different reasons. The same happened to Blaze, saying the food is not delicious. What? Even you failed? Gon exclaimed. Blaze just shrugged. After a few minutes, Menchi failed everyone, saying she's full. The hunter applicants were surprised by the decision. No one has passed? Are you serious? Does she really mean it? The exam is over? Many couldn't accept the decision. To do, the wrestlers snapped and destroyed the kitchen utensils out of anger. I won't accept it. As applicants and Menchi fought with words, an airship floated above the exam site. The next moment, an elderly man jumps the airship and landed on the ground, creating a crater. Chairman Netero. Blaze's fighting spirit ignited. He can't wait to fight him, someone who stands at the peak of the HXH world. With his observation haki, he could sense Netero is stronger than he expected. Who's that geezer? He's Chairman Netero, one in charge of the hunter exam, Menchi explained to the applicants. Netero asked Menchi if she really failed them because of their unwillingness to try new things. Menchi admits losing her cool after her profession was insulted and making the exam harder. She informed him that she will resign as an examiner and requested the chairman to redo the second phase. Very well, how about this? Netero spoke. You will continue to serve as the examiner, but you must also participate in the new test you propose. Is it okay? I agree. Then the new exam will be boiled eggs. Menchi requested the chairman to bring them all to Split Mountain. Boarding the airship, they reached the Split Mountain where the new exam is going to be conducted. Now, everyone, look down there. The new exam is collecting the spider eagle eggs. They build webs down there? Spider eagles build their webs deep in the ravine, to protect the eggs from predators. This makes spider eagle eggs are most difficult to obtain in the world. Netero explained. Menchi then showed how to obtain the eggs by jumping onto the ravine. Dangling on the webs for a few seconds, she got the eggs and was brought up by an updraft. After that, the other daring applicants jumped onto the ravine before Menchi could explain things clearly. Thanks to Gon, aside from some of them, everyone successfully got the eggs. Returning to the surface, everyone cooked the eggs and enjoyed the taste. Even Blaze finds it very delicious. HXH world is really filled with mysteries. Allow me to introduce myself to the remaining 43 applicants. As soon as everyone boarded the airship, Chairman Netero formally introduced himself and Beans. Beans announced that the airship will arrive at the site of the third phase the next morning at 8 a.m. The applicants are thus free to dine, rest, and do they please until contacted. Gon and Killua ran off to explore the airship while Leorio and Kurapika decide to rest for the night. As for Blaze, he went to the dining hall to have some food. After having some food, he plans to go and meet Netero. Chapter 170, Trick Tower. After having his fill, Blaze left the dining hall and toured the ship. It didn't take long for him to find the room where Gon and Killua are playing the ballgame with Netero. By the time he reached the place, Killua came out with a pissed-off look. The latter was surprised to see him standing outside the door. Seeing his expression, Blaze chuckled. You quit too soon. I guess you don't have the skill to take the ball from the old man. I am in a bad now. Don't get in my way. Killua spoke and tried to walk past, but Blaze stopped him. Oh. What will you do if I block your way?
kill me?" Blaze asked with a playful expression. Killua snapped. He didn't hesitate for a second to attack.
He aimed directly for Blaze's heart while the nails in his hand turned razor-sharp like that of a beast claw. But Blaze effortlessly caught Killua's hand and tightened his grip, making the other party moan in pain.
"You should refrain from attacking me. If you do that again, I may accidentally kill you."
Saying this, Blaze emitted his rin, infusing it with ruthless killing intent. It was just for a moment, but it's enough to scare Killua so much. With tremendous force, Killua broke free from his hold by twisting his hands and leaped back, creating some distance between them. Sweat formed on his forehead as he looked at Blaze in terror and fear.
"Run, you are not his opponent." Illumi's thoughts engulfed his mind.
"Hey, I was just joking."
"Don't be afraid.
You have to control your killing impulse. What will Gon think if he finds that you kill for the slightest grievance?"
Blaze spread his hand and spoke. Killua didn't buy it, but Blaze's last sentence brought him back to his senses.
He calmed his mind.
"Go and take some rest," Blaze said, and entered the room where Gon and Netero are playing. Inside the room,
Gon was using everything he got to take the ball from Netero. The Sara technique he taught didn't give him an advantage against a character like Netero. Still, the Sara technique clearly surprised Netero, as he didn't expect a kid like Gon to know such profound technique. With a glance, he could tell it would help Gon in the future.
Click. Blaze came inside.
His sudden arrival made the two pause the game and look at him. Seeing him, Gon shouted,
"Blaze, you came at the right time.
Netero-san said that he will give us the hunter license if we get the ball."
"Really? It doesn't seem that hard."
Blaze spoke with a slight smile.
"No. My offer is only for the two kids, not for others." Netero declined, as he could tell Blaze isn't an ordinary person.
"I don't need your offer. Old man, I came to fight you. I hope you are as powerful as others say."
Blaze spoke, revealing part of his aura, astonishing Netero.
"Oh." Sensing his aura, Netero squinted his eyes.
"He's stronger than I thought. Maybe I can warm up my old bones. But who is he? Why haven't I heard of him before? First take the ball from me, then we will talk about the fight. What do you say?" Netero chuckled. "Deal." Blaze agreed, as he was waiting for this.
He was worried that the old man will decline his proposal. Taking his white robe off, he walked towards the center of the room and stood opposite Netero.
Cracking his neck, Blaze asked, "Can we start?"
"Sure." Netero and Blaze stood face to face, ready to attack any moment. The two moved at the same time. Both of them looked at each other while lightning sparkled between them. Blaze made his move, dashing forward at extreme speed.
Fast.
Netero punched his leg and backed away while Blaze pursued.
Blaze didn't use his full strength, as doing would definitely destroy the airship.
At the same time, he could tell Netero is also doing the same.
Meaning, they aren't using their full strength. They are competing with just speed and reflex.
On the side, Gon looked at the play with an astounded expression, as he was having a hard time following the moving figures of both Blaze and Netero.
After a minute, Blaze showed a surprised expression.
He had to agree, when it comes to pure speed and reflex, Netero bests him.
He's really strong. Blaze mused.
After all, he's a human who surpassed the limit of his body by training to the extreme.
Looks like I won't be able to beat him without using future sight.
Thinking through, he didn't hold back his observation hockey anymore.
The battle changed the next moment. Blaze's hands reached the ball easily.
Though Netero reacted and saved it from falling into his hand, it happened again.
Netero couldn't believe his eyes. How can he predict my movements so accurately? Did he use Nin that's related to future?
He didn't have the luxury to think, as Blaze's speed and reflex began to match his.
If this continues, I would lose.
Netero suddenly increased his physical power and moved away from him. Blaze didn't continue to chase, he stopped in his tracks and looked at Netero. "You lost." Netero didn't deny his words as he knew he's the one who lost his cool. If they continued to compete increasing their physical power, it would destroy the airship and put countless applicants' life in danger. We will meet after the hunter exam is over, Netero spoke.
Good. Let's go Gon, you should take some rest. Blaze left the room with Gon.
After he took his leave, Netero stroked his beard and was in serious thought. Pondering for a minute, he called someone and told them to check on Blaze's background.
He's interesting. Next day.
The airship reached the next destination where the third phase of the hunter exam is going to be held.
Trick Tower, a prison wherein long-term criminals are kept.
Once everyone landed, Bean stated the aim of the third phase of the hunter exam, which is to safely arrive at the bottom of Trick Tower within 72 hours. The third phase started. After a while, Kurapika realized that the number of people has decreased by half. At that time, Gon found the secret stone titles and the way in is to flip them. After a discussion, they all picked a tile and entered the tower.
Blaze also did the same.
His appearance replaced Tanpa. Like in the original series, they all ended up in the same room. They saw 5 watches in the room with 2 buttons on each of them, an X and O. A door appeared once they wore the watch. The next moment, the voice of the third pace examiner, Lippo, came from the mic. He told them the rules. They have to vote whether to open the door or not. Everybody voted to open and walk through the door that lead them to another room. After another puzzle, they advanced to a large room with a platform in the middle. On the other side, there are 5 prisoners. They must beat at least 3 of them in a challenge to advance in the tower. Lippo once explained the rules. You will be fighting against the 5 of them. The fights will be one-on-one and you can only fight once. There can be no draws. The prisoner's sentence will be reduced by 1 year for every hour they delay the applicants. In other words, their goal is to buy time. The first prisoner is Ben. He came forward and spoke. I'm up first. Choose your combatant. That wraps up this part of What If Transmigrated into One Piece and became a Marine.
Thanks so much for listening.
As always, new parts drop every 4 days, so be sure to stay tuned. Also check out my Patreon channel for early releases of all the series, where you can find all the series released 1 day ahead of YouTube. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, share it with your friends, and please consider supporting the original author as well.
See you in the next one.